Hey, babe. How's it going?
あら、兄さんだけかと思ったのに、意外な人が混ざっていたんですね。
Sakura smiles sweetly. The glint in her eyes remind me of Ryder's mystic eyes. Even if it doesn't paralyze the senses, it certainly has the impact.
いや、さくら、これにはいろいろと前置きがあってだな。
驚きました。まさか先輩が兄さんと一緒になって私の部屋に忍び込むなんて。普段なら嬉しいのに、今はちょっと悲しいです。
Uh-huh. She's not listening. Making the ground tremble with the thud, Sakura picks up the diary-like notebook.
兄さん、他のことは我慢するけど、私の部屋に入るのだけはやめてほしいってちゃんと言いましたよね。
She glares at him. I didn't do anything wrong.
どうかなお兄ちゃん、ちょっと聞き逃しちゃったかな。
Maybe he sobered up, Shinji shaking nervously.
言いました。このノートにきちんと書いてあります。
Well, if it's written in the notebook.
丸月丸日、晴れ、今日の出来事。兄さんに私の部屋に入らないでほしいとお願いしたのに、ほら、私の記憶違いじゃありません。
Sakura laughs happily. Incidentally, I wonder what those star marks in the diary stand for.
思い出した。ちゃんと覚えてたさ。でもひどいんだぜ、さくら。僕はやめようって言ったのにさ。
Hey!
エミヤのやつがさくらの部屋を調べるって言って聞かなくてさ。
Bullshit! He's invoking the Emiya shield at the last second. Not bad.
毎度のことながら素晴らしい切り返しだな、シンジ。さくらの日記帳が見たいって言ったのはお前だろう。
See, I was defending you. You should really talk about how great I am.
僕がはあ、そんな命知らずなまでするのは主役だけだね。留守中のヒロインの部屋を調べたらデッドエンドるのは伝統じゃんか。そういうことするのは死んでも死なない主人公特性持ってる人だけです。おのれ、なんか説得力あふれる言霊だが見苦しいぞ、シンジ。どうあってもお前のオチは決まってるんだから、潔く一人で行け。友人を巻き込むな。べっべ、お前なんて友人じゃないもんね。むしろ心の友として一緒に死んで。
Shinji's unbeatable within seized by panic. No matter how hard I try to shake him off, he won't let go of my arm. Wait, the shadows. Sakura's shadow is coming closer.
心の友と言われては無限にはできないが、罪の所在が明らかな以上諦めてほしい。
Don't worry, she's just gonna eat me up, and that's bad.
俺の
Don't do
罪は
that.
さくらの部屋に入ったことだけだ。なんつうか、これはきちんと後で怒られるから、とりあえずお前は今までの悪行を清算してこい。あれ悪行じゃないよ。単に僕の好き嫌いが多いだけじゃんか。つうか、サラダにプチトマトは入れるなよな。ありゃただの手抜きだろ。
What? Shinji unconcernedly shows what a picky eater he is. Well, certainly half of it is since or something of that nature, but I doubt he can talk his way out of the other half.
諦めろ、シンジ。これを機に生まれ変われ。
はい、先輩の言う通りです。このノートに書かれた罰はきちんと清算してもらわないと。
Sakura's shadow captures Shinji.
グッバイ、シンジ。つかの間の共闘、楽しかったぜ。じゃないだろ、エミヤ。バッドエンド39。まあまあ、そう怖がらずに安心しろ、シンジ。さくらだってお前が憎いんじゃない。ただ更生してほしいだけだ。命までは取らないよ。
Just kidding, just as you. She didn't deny that. Oh? That's strange. You're not supposed to laugh there, are you, Sakura?
その通りです、先輩。命なんて取りませんし、私は更生してほしいだけですから。じゃあ覚悟してくださいね。
あれ、なんか文脈変だぞ、さくら。覚悟するのはシンジであって、俺にそう大きなトガは。
I agreed with you.
あるんです。先輩のライフスタイルは見ようによっては兄さんよりずっとも
And... Oh, what? Sakura takes out something. A somehow familiar looking item. Are you kidding me?
それは伝説の暗殺帳。もう一冊あったんですの。
もうバッチリと。私だけじゃなくてセイバーさんも姉さんも
What does
リ
Rin
リア
write
ちゃん
about
も
me?
書き込んでます。
The shadow comes closer. My kindred spirit grabs my left leg firmly as I try to run away.
まだ生きてたのか、シンジ。安心しろよ、エミヤ。さくらだって鬼じゃないさ。命までは取らないって言ったのお前だろ。
I mean, she's not going to.
取る、間違いなく取る。お前は破れかぶれになったさくらの弾けっぷりが分かってない。分かった、俺も悪かったから話して。もう遅いってば。いいじゃん。たまには一緒に死のうぜ、エミヤ。あ、そういえば僕ここで死ぬの運命っぽいよね。
What? Oh, well, yeah. To be fair, yeah. Please don't make me go through that fate with you. Oh, my consciousness is slipping away. This sucks to think that it was one of those traditional, absurd dead ends waiting for me. Suddenly, I wake up. When I rush to check the time, it's already past midnight.
すごい汗。
My whole body is drenched in a cold sweat. I must have had a terrible nightmare. I shake my aching head, trying to remember what the dream was about, but
きっとろくなもんじゃない。
I just say fuck it. I collapse onto my futon with a thud. I have to be up early tomorrow. I'll just forget about the nightmare and go back to sleep. Stop. No. I don't have pants on. Please don't look through my door. It wasn't a dream. Wallpaper added. More wallpaper added. What's this wallpaper? Save and title. Special wallpaper. Oh, freaky. Okay. Freaky looking. Gross. Wow, that is something else. That is a something. Damn it, I didn't mean to get that. Barely lucky. Fairly good luck. I swear to God, if one of these is 6,800. Insufficient funds. How much the fuck is that? Probably 6,000. Let's get this one. Oh, hey, Medusa's sister. Uriel?
ライダーの不老不死の姉、長女ステンヌと次女
both.
エウリワレ。
ところで、この二人は見分ける方法があるのか？
No.
違いは名前と性格だけ。あとは髪の一房、細胞の一つとして違いはないよね。もちろん三女ライダーへの愛情も。
Is identical.
ライダーも気の毒にな。
どうして？綺麗で可愛いお姉さんじゃない。
気の毒にな。
Cool. I will fucking find a way to keep going. Afternoon. Hey, one day something new has to come up. I guess I could talk to Ryder. Let's talk about the Holy Grail War. A violent snake laps up the blood. 3 a.m. Tonight another one-sided slaughter has begun. As always, the stage is empty. Miyama's residents are fast asleep in their homes. The means change from one moment to the next. skewered by enormous nail-like daggers, hanging from the streetlights, crushed by coiling chains. The fuck? Occasionally, she goes too far and tears them to pieces. On a whim, she catches one in her hand and crushes its head. There are a variety of methods. Emulating a comic she recently read, she lifts a large vehicle and flattens them beneath it. By chance, there just happens to be one at a construction site. While stopping to catch her breath, she considers whether to head back or keep going. Her objective, if she remembers correctly, is to investigate this anomaly. The restarted Holy Grail War. In order to seek out the cause behind it, she's been running rampant through the streets at night. Her efforts yield some limited success. Another servant has been keeping watch in Shinto, but has never found any clues. However, there is one major difference between her and the other servants. The monsters prowling the city at night. No one should have noticed them until the final day, but she had perceived them right from the start. To root out whatever was behind them, she would sneak out of the house by herself and continue her investigation one corpse at a time. There's no particular emotion driving her. When doing something out of no special interest, her body moves on its own. She becomes a machine without feeling, carrying out a predetermined task. Thus, she finds those moonlit hunts neither intriguing nor tedious, instead of classifying it as a normal chore. A fruitless, unending endeavor. A task is neither boring nor exciting. She will attempt it again and again until it yields results. One day it will. Nevertheless, since when did the hunt itself become the anomaly? She wondered. She controls her ragged breathing. Her self-appointed duty was completed after about half an hour. No, it was more like she couldn't help but complete it. No matter how much she wants to investigate, there is no material left. God, that's such... Ren's thighs are better, but still not bad. A red sea of carnage. Completely unrelated. She cannot find anything to distinguish from that. There is nothing left to analyze. She needs to examine each of her prey diligently, down to their eye sockets, but there are none left. She controls her ragged breathing. Though indeed monsters, there's little more than trash when up against her. A mere 100 or 200 wouldn't even serve as a warm-up. That's what happens when you're a real servant. Oh my god, she's hungry, right? And yet she controls her ragged breathing. Letting out what seems like pained gasps, she decided to continue the investigation. One more, I'll just check one more. Persuading herself of this, she jumps to the next hunting ground. There is a horde of roughly 100 monsters. After examining tens of thousands of them, she knew that answers would not be found here. Yet she continues with this massacre in the name of research. Without feeling, she mechanically bathes in blood. Her breathing begins to quicken again. One more. I just want to examine one more. There's nothing wrong with that. After all, the only ones dying are monsters. There are countless more to kill, and this is something she had decided to do. So she doesn't feel there is any problem, or meaning in what she is doing. After all, they are the bad ones. If they don't want to be killed, then they shouldn't have appeared. And yet they gush out in huge numbers like insects, forcing her to take them on. She wants to be left alone, but she has no other choice to oppose them. That's right. It's the very beginning. She really didn't want to do this. But there were other things that were more important. That's why she kept to her role. Still, because it was just too unpleasant, she decided to become something unlike a living creature, when she worked a simple trap that kills people.
Medusa?
No, fuck.
どこに行ったの？もう戻ってくる時間でしょ？
She heard that after one of her countless tasks.
ほら早く出てきなさい。私が素敵な贈り物をいただいたのよ。
As always, she became a trap for the humans that try to take away her sisters by force.
嫌な匂いね。メドゥーサ、そこにいるの？
They were not petrified. Those bodies were.
メドゥーサ、あなた、そこで何をしているの？
The hunched figure slurping flinched. I don't want to remember. Back then, her sister's eyes, which always radiated with joy, turned stark white with fear towards her. The feast in the name of her investigation continues. Each time she plays this part, her body grows more accustomed to its role. Her ferocity grows without end. These monsters, while stronger than humans, could never touch her. Their fodder, worthy only to be crushed underfoot. She feels her transmission shift gear by gear, from low to middle to high. The only issue, if any, is that there is no limit to her gearbox, meaning the question is whether her chassis can withstand the ever-increasing RPM. Why has she become so immersed in her role? It must be because the enemy is so weak and feeling so ideal that she's given up such priority to this task, despite herself, she thinks. After all, the town is empty. The people vanished at the stroke of midnight. Perhaps they were all killed by the monsters, or perhaps they never existed to begin with. It must be the latter. Those monsters are things that hunt down humans, but not once has she seen them kill anyone. They only act as against those that are the same as them. These monsters only feel interest or hatred towards their fellow monsters. So kill more of them. Hence she is taken by surprise. With the monsters present, she thought there wouldn't be any people around. So when a young woman appears, wandering aimlessly into the park. Oh, hey Karen. Though she knew it was human with a single glance. She slices through the woman without any hesitation. Her regret and confusion fade immediately. This was always a ghost town. So what if a human wandered in by mistake? Even if she didn't kill her, the monster surely would have. So it is fine. That was a trivial, inconsequential mistake that won't happen again, she thinks with a sigh.
よくはないわ。あなたがどのような生き物で、これがどのような状況であろうとも、あなたは人を殺したのよ。
The dead woman's mouth proclaims her sin with a voice like a song. She stands up. Blood pours out from the open wound. She clutches her throat. Her ragged breaths beg for oxygen. The sight makes her dizzy with vertigo. What a sweet smell. The delicious red essence of life, which she couldn't find no matter where she looked on, or how many monsters she killed.
こらえが効かないのね。我慢できないのなら、どうぞ好きにして結構よ。だって、そうしたくて真っ先に人間である私に襲いかかったのでしょ。
That voice pierces her heart. That's right, there's still a flood of monsters. And yet she ignored those which are her objects of investigation and hurled her dagger at the girl. She shakes her head in denial. Her dirty hair sways like snakes. Desperately, she objects, claiming it was an accident, completely outside of her duty.
別の役割。あなたも異常を解明したいというの。大した疑問ね。あなたはこれっぽっちも町のことなんて考えていないくせに。
Her heart sliced through, its contents exposed. That's right, she doesn't give a damn about the people, about the peace of this city. This investigation is carried out only for the sake of her master.
ああ、立派なサーバントね。けど、これは本当に彼女のためになるのかしら。
The air turns to poison. The woman approaches her step by step. Not with her legs, but with her words. Approaching not her body, but her heart. She's trying to knock down the last pillar remaining in her broken self.
何日も繰り返して、いい加減疲れたでしょ。 ここで楽にしてあげる。正直見ている私も飽き飽きしてきたところだし。
She throws her dagger toward the flapping lips. Her aim is perfect, it skewers the girl's tongue and splatters even more of her blood. But even then,
認めなさいメドゥーサ。あなたは本当は恨んでいる。
a grudge against humans.
あなたは本当は楽しんでいる。
Enjoying killing people.
あなたは
Don't need a reason at all.
大切だという彼女以上にこっちの方が大切なのよ。
The girl is still standing. The purple snakes are gradually blackening by her gushing blood.
機械に徹したところで奪った命の重さは変わらない。目を伏せたところで亡くなった命は消え去らない。蓋を閉めたまま生きていたらいつか自分の中身さえ。
Thanks, Karen. She's an eyesore. No matter who this human is, she's just an eyesore. No, she's actually pretty cute, not gonna lie. So she just kills her until she shuts up. She cuts open the girl's warm stomach and tears out the entrails. She almost shouts out in joy. More than any human she had laid hands on before, taking out her anger on this girl feels so good. She continues to mutilate the girl's body from the stomach outwards, until only the head is left. And it's still there. Surely the chatter will stop now. Relief gushes through her body, just when she feels a slight tinge of regret when she can't kill anymore.
これで理解できたでしょ。あなたはあなたにふさわしい場所に戻りなさい。
At last, she realizes her true feelings. She has an unendurable desire to kill humans. Okay. Once upon a time, there was a princess. One day, the people who loved the princess started hating her, and they sent her off to an island far, far away. Compared to her glorious life up until then, the island was very empty. Frightened by the people who'd gotten angry at her without reason, the princess prayed that no one would come to the island. Still, she was very, very lonely. She wept and wondered what she had done wrong.
メドゥーサは一人になるとすぐ泣き出すでしょ。私たちの親族としてそんな恥さらしは許しません。
After a short time, her elder sisters arrived at the island.
私はメデューサなんてどうでもいいんだけど、まあ召使いは必要だし。
How wonderful. Although they were still loved by all, the princess sisters moved there for her sake. The princess was not lonely anymore. Although the island still had nothing, she was happy because her sisters were there with her. The only things left to fear were humans. Kill the monster! With great courage, they came to chase the princess away. Snatch! Snatch the goddesses away! She could have borne it if that had been all. But then the people began to point their swords at her two sisters. To protect her sisters, the princess decided to take revenge. How wonderful. Yes, this time she could just do to the humans as they had done to her. She killed many humans. After all, even if she tried to escape, the princess had nowhere to go but the island. I don't want anyone to come. She'd always wanted to be left alone in peace, with her sisters, but...
やめなさい、メデューサ。挑みに来た人間たちが命を落とすのは自業自得でしょう。けれど、それを娯楽にしてはいけないわ。
Yet they still came one after another. Since there's no end to them, she started experimenting with new ways to eliminate them more quickly. When the trap she had devised proved effective, she found it a tad funny.
あなたの魔眼は戒めるためのもの、決して恐怖を与えるものではないのです。
Thanks, sis. But it was only right that those who had done nothing but scold the princess thus far should come to fear her as
それを
well.
口にするのはやめなさい。
Stop drinking that blood.
私が近頃のあなたは恐ろしいと怯えているわ。
No matter how infamous and fearsome she became, the humans kept approaching with boundless ferocity. The sisters continued to scold the princess. The princess felt too ashamed to show her body that had changed shape a little, and she left the sister she once dearly loved. In the end, she was alone again, sad and lonely. She hungered for new sacrifices. Come to think of it, in the beginning, we were the sacrifices. She laughed, bathed in red. Snapped. She swings her daggers with delight. Cackling with scorn, she tramples them beneath her. Without rest or respite, she continues running as if fleeing something. She feels giddy with each one as she crushes. Giddy with disgust. Giddy with amusement. Before long, her captivation intensifies into wild passion. Before she realizes it, she's butchering the monsters in a frenzy. She doesn't want to think about anything. She can't help but let her primal instincts take over and enjoy the hunt. The night continues. The slaughter continues. There are no living humans in the city at night. The only ones roaming about are the monsters. And she is broken. The more she kills, the heavier her body grows. The more she crushes, the more she forgets her own words. In a word, she is broken. Suddenly, she lowers her eyes. Her body is beginning to change, just like that time. She does not scream. Her boiling head cools at an impossible speed. Well, of course, this happened. There's no time for lamentations or ridicule. In that brief moment of absent-mindedness, she is stabbed without mercy. Monsters surround the wounded beast. Because she became a monster. Now they attack her. The remains of humanity are on the verge of death. Impaled by multiple claws, nothing is left of her body below her chest. She has been cut into fine pieces. The remains of the blackened monster can only last a few minutes more. Though her ragged breath, she looks at her bloodied palms, deep crimson red. She turns her claws, barely resembling human hands, to the monsters converging upon her. The corpse can still fight back. The creatures meekly decide to observe their new brethren as she dies out. Even breathing is difficult. Though she's already dying, her body continues to transform. Surely it won't stop even if she dies. After what is left of the woman stops breathing, she'll disappear and be reborn as a monstrous anti-hero with no trace of her original form. She murmurs, being still able to utter human words. Feels like some kind of lingering attachment, and it irritates her. Dimly, she looks at her deformed hands. She has known all along. She had confessed it to him as well. That her form was only temporary. That her true nature was that of a hideous monster. She was destined for ruin. From the moment she consumed human blood, her end had been determined. Day by day she grew. First her body crumbled, then her heart, and finally her very being decayed. And all she ever wanted was to become stronger in order to protect her sisters. But in the end, even her sisters were nothing more than nuisances intruding upon her lair.